Your Excellency, many people are saying right now that Pakistan, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, are helping Taliban. Is it true, from your standpoint, with regard to specifically the recent events in Panjshir province, that people saying that some groups are saying that Pakistan was helping Taliban? Could you please share your thoughts in this regard on how far it's true?
If Pakistan helped Taliban win against the United States, it means that Pakistan is stronger than the United States, the whole of the Europeans, and so strong that it has been able to make a lightly armed militia, 65, 60, 70,000 militia, beat a well-equipped army of 300,000. So it is, unfortunately, it is a propaganda which has been unleashed, number one, by the Afghan government to cover up its incompetence, its corruption, its inability to give governance to, proper governance to Afghanistan, it being perceived as a puppet government, not being respected by the people of Afghanistan. And secondly, it's India, which invested heavily in this Ghani Afghan government. And so this propaganda comes from there, but it has no logic. It is not possible. Pakistan total budget, the total budget for 220 million people is $50 billion. How could it have in any way supported insurgency in Afghanistan, which overwhelmed the United States, which spent over $2 trillion in Afghanistan in 20 years. So it is just not logical, it is propaganda. And where did, how come the 300,000 Afghan army did not fight? Did Pakistan ask them not to fight? So if you want to know the reasons why the Taliban won and the Americans finally lost after 20 years, all you have to do is do a detailed analysis of why one of the most bravest nations in the world, the Afghan nation, why did the army give up without a fight?
Your Excellency, you said that you won't recognize new government in Afghanistan until the international community will not recognize them. Would you please say, will you, are you planning to recognize them, this new government at all?
Pakistan is part of an international community. The recognition of Afghanistan is going to be very significant, the Taliban government. And what we are doing is that we are working with all the neighbors of Afghanistan. We are developing a policy, what should the Taliban government do for all of us to recognize them. And clearly, the thing that comes out most significantly is that the Taliban government must have an inclusive government, because Afghanistan is a country of diversity. The Pashtun element, Taliban are basically a Pashtun movement, is roughly half the population. Then there are Tajiks, who are a significant minority, and then there are Uzbeks, and then there are Hazara. So from for the interest of Afghanistan, for the long-term stability of Afghanistan, all of us feel that it must be an inclusive government which unites Afghanistan. So really that's where we stand today. We will discuss with all the neighbors of Afghanistan and come up with a policy.
As we all witnessed the Taliban recently, we saw the announcement of the new government by Taliban, and they still didn't consider all minorities' interests and to make them represent this government as well. What do you think, considering that Talibs right now, they're considering themselves as the winners, they're victorious, and will they recognize other minorities as well in the future?
Look, the Taliban have been through one of the most, what should I say, the most epic struggles anyone could have gone through, because after 20 years they have really survived one of the greatest military machines in the history of mankind. and they have taken heavy casualties in this. So I assume what is going on right now is that there is a feeling amongst those who have struggled in these 20 years, who've given a lot of sacrifices. They would want to have the lion's share, the main share of the government.